You're in Braves country. You're in Braves country.
Good afternoon, Braves country. We're going to make this one short and sweet, but we did want to dive into what is going on in the world of the Atlanta Braves. We're about to take on a very important 4-game series. We've got the LA Dodgers coming home to Atlanta. That's number one. Number two, the Mets will be in Philly. And as you can see on the screen, let me see if I can adjust that a little bit. But as you can see on the screen, let me see, the best way for me to do this would be to, here we go. All right, there you go. So right now the Atlanta Braves are a game back of the Mets. The Mets hold the final wild card. Now, we talked about this before. One of the biggest keys to this entire thing is the fact that the Braves and Mets play a 3-game series the last week of the year. We have 16 games left in the season. That's it. This weekend and 2 more weeks is all we have left in the entire season. 16 games. And in those 16 games, we have the Dodgers for 4. We're at Cincinnati for 3. At Miami for 3. So that takes you all the way through this weekend and wrapping up next week. And then we get a day off on that Monday heading into the final week. And then we're at home for the Mets for 3 and at home at KC for 3. The Mets are in Philadelphia for 3 this weekend. The Mets then host the Washington Nationals for 3. And then they are hosting the Philadelphia Phillies for 4. So they play Philadelphia 7 times in the next 10 days. And then they get a day off as well going into the Atlanta series. It's a 3-game series, and then they finish off at Milwaukee. But what's the big deal about that Mets series is that not only will we most likely be neck and neck, but with Atlanta winning 5 and the Mets winning 5 this year, those last 3 games, there's going to be a tiebreaker. If they end up in a tie, which could very well happen, the winner of that series is going to get the nod and punch their ticket to the playoffs. What's also key to those dates is that Thursday, September 26th, in theory, that is the first day eligible for Ronaldo Lopez to return from the IL, which means if he comes back and everything goes right, he could pitch that Thursday night game. If not, a lot of different angles, but still a long way to go there. But you got to realize that that's going on in the heads of the Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets and everybody else. I'm going to go ahead and squinch that up because really the Cubs, the Cardinals, the Giants are done. I mean, not only would they have to get scalding hot, everyone else would have to collapse. So we'll put them, as of right now, we're focusing on that there are 4 teams fighting for 3 spots. And the easiest way to get there would be to catch the Mets. But if San Diego continues to stumble, Arizona's gotten a little hot, but some of it had to do with who they've been playing. But Arizona and San Diego, Mets and Atlanta, those 4 teams are going to decide the last 3 playoff spots because the divisions are wrapped up in the National League. there was a slight chance that someone was going to run down the Dodgers. That's gone. Dodgers have a healthy lead. Phillies are running away. The Brewers are running away. So it's really coming down to these wild card spots. If the Braves can find a way to get through it, the Atlanta Braves could have that in their favor going into the playoffs. A team that had to fight, continue to play, continue to keep the iron sharp, and then you get in the playoffs, and you might see a much different outcome than what we've seen the last few years, where we've had everything wrapped up. And I just felt like both years, we ran into some injuries with the pitching, but I also felt like that they were not sharp at all going into the playoffs, and the offense let them down. This year, you don't have to worry about that because offense can't let us down. They can only let us up. The offense has let us down all year long. It can't get any worse than what it's been. So that's the advantage right there. So Atlanta's going to go in to this series against the Dodgers, and we're going to wrap this up with the entire series breakdown. But just to let you know, as of right now, Schwellenbach, Sale, Morton, Fried. That's the breakdown. Also to let you know, the play-by-play, if you haven't seen it already updated, we're giving you play-by-play tonight, Sunday night, and Monday night of the Dodgers series. Saturday night will be the chat because you have about 6 Southeastern Conference teams playing football on television that night. Georgia's playing Kentucky. Both of those are Braves country. Tennessee Volunteers, they're Braves country. Auburn's playing. That's Braves country. I'm not willing to go up against that when we can go up against the NFL and the Texans versus the Bears, which, let's be honest, Texans and Bears, no one gives a crap about that game in general, and definitely not anybody in Braves country. If you're watching that game, it's got something to do with fantasy football, but you're not locked into the game. I mean, honestly, I'm a little surprised that was a Sunday night game, but I think they were trying to showcase the rookie quarterback for Chicago and the youngster C.J. Stroud for Houston. But anyways, not the point. The point is we're doing Friday, Sunday, Monday. Saturday night will be the chat night over on the Cover Country. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a real quick look at what happened in the last series, Washington. Look, they looked phenomenal. The offense looked phenomenal in game one. Blew Washington out when they went 12-0. Raylo only went 1 inning, but the bullpen stepped up in a big way. You know, Jesse Chavez was phenomenal in that game. Came out of the bullpen out of nowhere and went 3 innings of scoreless ball. The entire bullpen went 8 innings of scoreless ball. And I get it, it's Washington, but that can't be ignored. Then the Braves go out Wednesday night, and Irvin outpitched Max Fried. Max Fried, they made a lot of excuses for him, but let's call a spade. Max Fried sucked in that game. Max Fried left too many balls over the plate. Yeah, there were some dribblers that came through, but all in all, when you give up 11 hits in 5 innings, come on. It's not going anywhere. So with that being said, they split the series, and they lose the week. They dropped the first one with a 1-hitter shutout at home on the 9th on Monday against Cincinnati. That one was pathetic. And then the game on Wednesday, it wasn't much better. It really wasn't. So now we go into a Dodgers series where, look, this is going to be a difficult series to try to win. I would be thrilled with the split. If you told me right now we would win 2 of the 4 games, I would shake hands and go, we'll see you Tuesday in Cincinnati. I'll take it. Big picture with the entire 16 games left to go is this. I think 10-6 definitely gets you into the playoffs, especially if 2 of those 10 are against the Mets. I think 9 of 7 could get you into the playoffs. But if you go 8-8, it's going to be a dogfight, and you may not get the tiebreaker. When you look at what we have left, the 4 against L.A., and then we go into Cincinnati and Miami for 6. Miami stinks. We know that. Cincinnati stinks. We know that. But Cincinnati can be a difficult place to play. They're going to need at least a series win in both of those. I don't know how realistic that is, considering how Jekyll and Hyde this offense has been. This offense has been terrible. The pitching will be there. But the point will be, when you're in Cincinnati, that ball flies, especially in the summer months. Can Atlanta score some runs to keep themselves relevant? When they're in Miami, a team that they have owned for the last several years, does that continue? Or do they? And there's also the look ahead. How focused are they going into the Cincinnati, especially the Miami series, because it's the series right before New York? The other thing would be, we would like to see the Phillies to go out there and really take care of the Mets, right? That would be the ideal thing right now. They're going to go into Philly and take a look at that real quick, what that series looks like, and then we'll go to the Braves series. The New York Mets begin their 3-game series tonight in Philadelphia. So they're a 640, a 405, and a 135. So the game tonight's going to be going on at the same time as the Braves game. But the other two, honestly, you can watch them and root along with the Philadelphia Phillies, because the game tomorrow night's at 4 o'clock. The Braves don't play till 7:20, and the game on Sundays at 1:35. The Braves don't play till 7 o'clock. What are they going to get? They're going to get Aaron Nola, Allard, and Sanchez. Not necessarily what you want. They're going to dodge Wheeler. As of right now, it looks like they will get Wheeler on that Sunday night game to finish the 4-game series against Philadelphia. It looks like they are going to, as of right now, dodge Nola, but that could change. So the Mets are sending Quintana, Severino, and Peterson. Severino versus Allard tomorrow's game, the Mets have a definite advantage. Tonight's game, Nola versus Quintana, though I think it'll be a low-scoring game, advantage Philadelphia. The toss-up in that series is going to be the Sunday game. David Peterson, who's pitched well, and Sanchez, who's pitched pretty well, which one of those lefty youngsters outperforms the other? So, looking at, and anybody watching over YouTube, if you want to jump in on the fun, on Facebook, jump in on the fun, go over to YouTube, where many more folks are watching. Braves Country Radio on YouTube. But with all that being said, if the Braves can split and the Phillies win their series at home, you'd think that would be realistic, especially because the Phillies have owned the New York Mets in recent memory, right? If the Braves can split in it against the Dodgers and the Phillies win their series 2-1, we would come out of there. What would we be at that point? We'd be game and a half, or half game back, I should say. And then we go into beginning of the week, and then that's when the Cincinnati and the Toronto series, or Cincinnati and Miami Marlins series, are going to be very critical. The Mets have a tough road these next 10 games. They're going to face Philadelphia 7 times. I would hope Philadelphia could win at least 4, bare minimum. I would hope to think that Philadelphia may even win 5 of those 7. They're the better team. But the Mets have played inspired baseball, and 4 of those games are in New York. So take that for what it is. I still think you're going to get Philly's best shot these next 7 games against the Mets, because they still have a full week after that Mets series, after those 2 Mets series. They have a full week to set their rotation and do whatever the hell they want to do for the playoffs. So that's going to be critical. And then if you go back to what the Braves are going to be doing this weekend against the LA Dodgers, here's how it winds up. It's still listed as Schwellenbach versus Knack. Once again, remember this game tonight, it's on Apple TV. We're going to have the broadcast here, but if you're trying to stream it up and connect it up, it's on Apple. You're not going to be able to get it on Bally Sports or anything else like that. They have the sole rights. Dodgers will send Knack versus Schwellenbach. It's two youngsters. We've got the edge in this game, but they definitely, in every one of these games, they have the offensive advantage, and it's not even close. In every one of these games, we have the bullpen advantage, and it's not even close. When you look at the starting pitching advantage, we have it in the Friday game. We have it in the Saturday game. It's Sale versus Flaherty. Flaherty has pitched well, but give me Chris Sale any day of the week over Flaherty. And then in the Sunday game, it's Morton versus Buehler. And in years past, you'd say, oh, my God, Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler's coming off of injury. Walker Buehler has not looked great. He's looked a little better recently, but he hasn't been the elite Walker Buehler that he was in like 2021, right? So Monday's game is in Max Fried versus Yamamoto. Yamamoto, same story. He's coming off an injury. Now, he's looked good in his outing, but he didn't go very far. I don't think you're going to get more than about 4 or 5 innings out of Yamamoto on Monday, unless the Braves do the typical thing where they swing at the first pitch and it's a 6-pitch inning in the first inning. Then who the hell knows how long they'll let him go out there. But they're still building Yamamoto back. If I'm handicapping these games, Saturday should be a win for Atlanta. We have a very good chance in the Sunday game and in the Monday game. The Friday game, to me, is one of the most critical of the series because Schwellenbach, now he had a rough outing last outing, but Schwellenbach has been much better than what Landon Knack has been. If Schwellenbach can go out there and shove and give us a 6 innings, 2 earned runs or less performance, give the Braves every opportunity to win the game, and we take game one, then it's going to feel like we're playing with house money because you feel like you can win one of the next 3. Sale, Saturday night, the most obvious one, and then, of course, the Sunday, Monday games, both of those games are toss-ups. It's going to come down to what does the offense do, and it's been pathetic. We know it's been pathetic. We hope to get good news before the game tonight, so make sure to tune in at 7:20 first pitch. Tonight, the game, we're looking to get some positive news on a couple of fronts. One of them, digging around to see if we can find anything out new on Ozzie Albies. The other thing is that they talked about that Whit Merrifield may be available in this series. Now, he may not start, but he may be available. You'll know more, obviously, right before first pitch. But looking at the injuries that we have had, if we could get Whit Merrifield back, that helps stabilize that offense quite a bit. Biggio is not going to be the answer. Luke Williams obviously has not been an answer. And it'll be interesting to see who they have on the roster. Remember, because of the expanded roster, you can move guys back and forth. Now, Travis d'Arnaud is back. They announced that yesterday. Travis d'Arnaud came back from the paternity list, so Chadwick Tromp goes back down. So it'll be, I would think, d'Arnaud probably starts tonight. And I would think d'Arnaud gets at least 2, if not 3 starts in this series. All 4 games being night games, you're not going to have that automatic, day game after night game scenario where they just refuse to play the same catcher twice. I would think the way it lines up, and I don't have their numbers versus starting pitchers in front of them, but I would think the way it lines up, you'd want Travis to come back tonight and probably have Travis catch Sunday night, and then Monday's kind of up in the air. I would think Murph is going to catch Sale on Saturday, But if one of these guys have much better numbers against one of the starting pitchers, that's a factor as well. I don't get those numbers until about 4 hours before first pitch. So there you have it. Like I said, Ozzy, we're hoping to get some positive news on Ozzy. They haven't released anything, but usually this is the day that you get it. After an off day, at home, you should get some kind of news on Ozzy. And in a perfect world, we find out that he's going to go on I think he goes on a rehab assignment. I don't think they throw him right in. Now, they could, because they're not getting any production right now from second base. But I think they probably sent him on a rehab assignment. I don't know if they're going to want to throw him into the fire onto the road, and they may put him on the rehab assignment. My guess would be if everything goes correctly, he's back in time for the Mets series. We obviously want him back before then, but they have been very, very slow. What we were told when he first got hurt is that the range that he would have been coming back on would have been this weekend. This would have been like the long play. This is at the end of the 6 to 8 weeks mark. Well, all we've heard is things are going well, but we haven't heard anything about taking swings, anything like that. So hopefully between now and first pitch, we'll know more. But my guess would be we don't see him in the LA series. I hope I'm wrong. And that he would go out on a rehab assignment next week while the team is on the road and get him ready to come back against the Mets. But once again, I would prefer to him to be back in time to play a couple of games in Miami to get the rust off the bat, because when you go into that Mets series, it's going to have a playoff-like atmosphere, and we're going to get their best shot. Next Braves Country today, we'll talk about where it's being looked upon is who the Mets will probably have pitching in that series. But right now it's a little too far to project. They've got some guys listed that you could guesstimate on who would pitch, but I would think that they're going to try to manipulate it where we're going to face Severino. We're going to face probably Manaea. And then the other guy I would think that they're going to want to try to put in there. I know they've got a lot of confidence in Peterson, and he has pitched well against the Braves, so that could be who they lean on. They don't want Tyler McGill out there. They just do not want McGill out there on the mound starting. So there you have that. Real quick, Braves Country today. We're going to get out of here. We'll see you tonight, 7:20 first pitch. If you're listening to the replay, we're about to get started. All right. We'll see you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and go Braves. And let's hope that these bats, maybe a day off, will wake them up. But we know when the Braves have an opportunity to score in this series specifically, they better take advantage of it. Because if they go out there and they have the bases loaded and nobody out, and they only get the one run, that's the kind of stuff that's going to come back and haunt you when you got to face Mookie and Freddie and Ohtani and the rest of the LA gang. I mean, they are just, their offense is out of this world. The Braves have the pitching to slow them down. And the Dodgers pitching has been suspect. So it kind of feeds into the fact that the Braves have taken advantage of bad pitching from time to time. But this isn't like terrible pitching. This just isn't elite level LA Dodger pitching we've seen in the past. Have a great one, y'all.
You're in Braves Country.